PopCultureZone.com is an online shop focusing on hot new comics, including exclusive and incentive variants, CGC graded comics, and tons of other inventory, including pop culture toys and other collectibles, all at low and competitive prices. PopCultureZone.com ships all over the US. And if you are buying raw comics, they offer flat rate shipping of only $4.99. That's right, $4.99. Absolute craziness, right? And there's no taxes included, excluding New Jersey. Pop Culture Zone is also on eBay, where they hold a 100% positive feedback rating with over 8,000 completed transactions for this year alone. Make sure to check out the link to their website below, as well as their eBay link, so be sure to give them a follow there as well.
All right, Chris, we're going to move on to our next segment. So much fun. We need your participation, though, people. Be a part of this. It's props or flops. Props or flops, where you all get to share a book, ask the community if it's props or flops. Is it a good investment? Is it not a good investment? This is what you paid for it. This is, do you see a return on investment down the road? What have you? You're getting advice from not only Chris, myself, but also the community as well. So that's why we need you people to be weighing in on your props or flops and why. Chris, explain it further. Let's go.
Yeah, guys, if you want to be involved, you want to have your books showcased, head over to Instagram. Obviously, upload any comic onto IG. Now, remember, this could be a comic that you just recently bought. It could be a comic that you're hunting or speculating on that you do not own yet. So you can just upload a stock image, etc., etc. Make sure you use the hashtag props or flops. Make sure you also tag myself at journos_comics and also tag us at Comic Book Canon just to make sure we see the post. Tell us why the book interests you. That adds context for us to break down the market and to tell you if this is a good, purchase decision. Purchase price. Oh, I just bought this for X amount of money, or this is for sale for X amount of money. Should I get it? Stuff like that really matters. And we'll break down the market live on the show. We'll do 3 books at least every week for props or flops.
That is right. And we have some good submissions this week, Chris. Let's just start right into it. What do we got for the first submission?
All right, let's go. Let's start it off with, we got some Hawkeye, #1 with some Kate Bishop action from, I believe this is Rachel T. I know there's an X in there, but that's how I'm reading it, so I apologize if I butchered that up. They state, been a fan of this for a while now. Recently came across a CGC 9.8 copy for $70 Canadian. That's about $52 US. Picked it up immediately since that's basically the price to get anything graded anyways. While it is not the first appearance of Kate Bishop, Young Avengers #1 is too expensive to get at this point. It is her first solo series. Yes. I feel that Haley Steinfeld gives this character life, and I wouldn't be shocked to see her in the major upcoming movies. What do y'all think? Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for the submission. A 9.8 CGC. I agree with Haley showing up in the major films. I really enjoyed her portrayal in Hawkeye. We all know the state of the speculative live action market right now, even for MCU stuff. It's been running crazy this past year, even with the downturn of the economy, even with the downturn of some of the comic book market. Speculation, whenever there's an announcement or trailer or stuff like that, is driving these spec books through the roof, and oftentimes they are coming down very, very hard. So we got to be very careful. Every character that shows up isn't something that's going to, give you a return on investment, like Frogman's comedy little show up in, or Leapfrog showing up in She-Hulk. Haley here as Kate is definitely different. This is a character of the future, just like Chris Evans, just like RDJ. I think we're going to see this character or see Haley play this character for about a decade in the MCU. So I think there's a lot of big things for her that will allow us to enjoy her character on screen, allow the younger audience to buy into this character, and then allow all of us fans of the films and TV shows to go back to the comics, and not just for investment reasons, but to say, man, I really am enjoying this character. I want to learn more about the character. I want to read the comic books. I want to collect comic books, etc. So there's a lot of positives here when looking at her key comic books for those reasons. Now, I absolutely agree, hands down, that paying $52 US for this book and a CGC 9.8, I mean, that's not, just depending on how much books you're sending out. I always estimate modern books to be about $35. If you add in shipping, as long as you're not doing fast track, as long as you're not doing custom labels. So you could say that this book cost about $35 to slab. That means you're paying less than $20 for this book in a 9.8. So right now, raw books in high grade are selling for, there's been some that have sold this month for over $40. So that right there, you're getting an amazing deal on this. Now, the interesting thing about this book in a 9.8, though, is there aren't any recent sales that I saw since December of 2021, which is when the Hawkeye show came out. And they were selling for, a fair market value average of roughly about $165, which I think even then, it's not a first appearance, but even then, when you look at like the spec market, that's not crazy. People go crazy with even smaller character books. And we saw them shoot up to $300, So even that wasn't crazy. I'm sure if one sold right now, maybe it wouldn't be hitting that much because there's no focus on the character. But $52 US, hands down, all day. I'm giving this book a props because you're paying way under market value, even if this book dropped from where it was at when that show hit. And that is, I hate to say it, I'm not going to say steal, but it is a solid deal for sure. Props on this book at a $52 price point.
I got to give her props too. She's going to be a staple in the Marvel universe. Like Jeremy Renner probably will kind of ease his way out. But she's, as they're going to focus on her quite a bit. As you said, at least the next 10 years. And, that's going to bring her into a kind of A-level status, so to speak. So $52 US, 70 Canadian, like that's anytime you get a 9.8 for this is kind of a key book. It's her first solo series.
Yep.
For under $100, I think you're doing well. So props for sure. So good work on that. Rachel, I believe, or Rachel. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. We got our second props for flops. What is it?
All right. I'm loving this one. And this is a unique one because it's not just one book. It is a lot, and it is a Spider-Man lot. We love our Spider-Mans.
We love our Spider-Man.
Goonish. Goonish Lurker states here. I went ahead and made a business purchase for a lot of Spider-Man comics and at one of my favorite bookstores. So I give it a props just for supporting your favorite bookstore. But no. That was a sidebar. Let's continue on. The lot featuring ASM Volume 2 that basically started in 1998 when they decided to renumber some of the legacy runs. This is issues number 1 through 49, as well as the full run of Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 2, which came out in the 2000s. That was a 27 book run right there. And some miscellaneous Sensational Spider-Mans. And it looks like the Sensational Spider-Mans, yeah, those were the ones that took over the Marvel Knights, I believe, Spider-Man run. He goes on to say, these are all raw but in excellent condition to be submitted for grading. I paid $200 for the entire collection. Let me know what you guys think of whether this gets props or flops. In the picture, we have ASM number 1, the volume 2, number 1 right there. And, that's a little, in a high grade, you can find that book for $5 to $10 at this
point. The one bottom left, right?
Bottom left, yep.
That's the John Byrne cover, I do believe.
And then number 5, number 29, number 30, and number 36. So you have issue number 30, which is the first appearance of Moreland and Ezekiel, which is probably right now about in a high grade near man is a solid $20 book. And then you have the issue 36, which is the all black September 11th tribute issue. And man, I haven't looked at the value on that book right there in a long time. But look, no doubt about it, $200 props all day long. Just look, I mean, even if you didn't have those few books that are key books, he got basically, I mean, you have 50 ASM books, 27 spectaculars. He's probably got, maybe 90 books here, 80 to 90 books here. So he's paying just over, $2 a book, maybe like $2 and a quarter, $2.30 a book. That alone is solid for Spider-Man books, even for, late 90s and early 2000 books, because it's Spider-Man, especially if they're in high grade too. But then you add in the fact that you have some solid keys in there, keys that have potential in increasing in value just because of what they are, not because of any MCU spec. Solid buy for $200, Goonish, hands down. You got a props of a deal.
I'm going to say props too, because again, there are a few kind of, not like full-fledged keys in there, but as you said, some sought after books that you got again for $200. So like, I think that's a good buy. Like, you're dropping a decent amount of money, but you're getting a lot in return right there. So good work, Goonish. Good work indeed. We'll see more of you later in the show. And our final props or flops. Let's get your opinion on these too. Want to hear it in the comments section. Chris, what do you got?
Well,
this is timely, actually. This is very timely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we discussed this in the news segment. A lot of spec. I mean, there's been a lot of spec. Even more spec on Mephisto. We got a Silver Surfer #3. The first appearance of Mephisto. YOLO Bro. YOLO Bro Comics. Thanks for submitting. YOLO Bro says, happy Mephisto month. Found a raw, high grade Silver Surfer #3 right before the casting leak / rumor. I got to give YOLO credit for saying leak / rumor, because that's all it is at this point. There's something there. There's something there. We saw the actor show up at one of the Marvel headquarters. We had Deadline reporting on sources, but no comment from Marvel or Sasha Cohen's people. There's something there, but it is still a leak / rumor. But he goes on to say, I caught this right before the rumor this past weekend. Is it worth it at $555? All right, YOLO Bro. All right, so we're going to look at it like this. First off, YOLO Bro did state this was a high grade. He included multiple pictures of the book. You don't see them, but they were there. I looked at them. I zoomed in and I looked over every millimeter of this book. I don't see this book as a high grade. It is a solid grade for a square bound Silver Age book, but I put this book at a fine to fine, very fine. So number grade, that would be a 6.0 to 7.0. There was too many spine ticks, a bit of a spine stress roll. There's some color breaks that ran parallel to the spine, and there's some blunting and rounding on the top and bottom of the spine corners. There is also a small color break and crease down at the bottom left corner as well. The corners are decently sharp, but again, there are some blemishes. The back is extremely white, but again, I wouldn't put the corners at near mint corners. But the book is really, really beautiful, presents very well. Again, I put it at a fine to very fine, 6.0 to 7.0. Now, usually when you're looking at pictures too, if I could see that many defects, usually when you have it in hand, it means that you're going to see more defects. So that's just my personal opinion from my experience. Now, if you're looking at what this book is doing and what I estimated the grade to be, over the last 18 months, the fine range has sold from anywhere from $200 to $800, and that's raw books. This book has been all over the place for the last 18 months because of, well, mainly, we keep wanting to spec on Mephisto and then nothing happens. What was going on about 18 months ago or a little over 18 months ago? WandaVision. Here comes Mephisto, didn't happen. And then Loki, Mephisto, didn't happen. Multiverse of Madness, Mephisto, didn't happen. So the numbers are just all over the place. When you look at the fine range from 6.0 to 7.0 in graded comics over the last 90 days, a little more concise, $500 and $900. So $555 for this book raw. I really don't think this book is getting higher than a 7.0 if you send it into CGC. My opinion. $555. I give it a props. I give it a props because of a couple reasons. One, it's a Silver Age Silver Surfer book. Silver Surfer Volume 1 books are going to be their... Silver Surfer is such a unique character, always been. And his Volume 1 run is a very unique run with a, very short run, 1 through 18. All square-bound books. It's very unique, and they pull in a certain, demand. I wouldn't put it anywhere close to Amazing Spider-Man Silver Age run fillers that are always increase in value because of Spider-Man. But I do believe they're in the same boat. They're at a lower level. Maybe they're in the minor leagues of that. But Silver Surfer Volume 1 books, 1 through 18, no matter if they're keys or first appearances, they're going to increase in value long-term no matter what because of the collectability there. Mephisto has always been a great character in the comics. This character has showed up multiple times in pivotal, story arcs throughout the decades. And that alone is going to drive this book to be something long-term. But here's what you did, YOLO. You bought it at a price that, if my grades are correct, if you're correct, if you're more correct, thinking it's even higher grade, then even more props and power to you, right? But if my grading is correct based on what I've seen, you bought this kind of right at the low end of what it's selling for graded around these grades right now. And that's before we had, or that's after we had these rumor announcements, right? So I think there's a lot of ability for you, if you wanted to, if we do get an actual confirmation, and then if we get a trailer, we know what show or movie that Mephisto's showing up in, this book is going to, once again, whoop, and you could sell it and flip it and get a lot of money in your pocket. And here's the thing, CGC has their turnaround times. They're solid right now. Go fast track this, send it in, get it, press it clean, maybe. Send it into CGC and fast track it. Even if you get a 6.0 on this book, but maybe you get a 7.5, who knows? Fast track it, get this book back by the time there's a trailer out or whatever. You can go flip this book and you might be able to make over $1,000 on this book. But if for some reason it doesn't happen and nothing happens with Mephisto still, and people turn away from this stuff and the book starts to drop a little bit because there's no spec on it, again, this is a book that 5 years from now, no matter what happens in the MCU, I don't want to say guarantee, but I can assure you, I am confident that this book that you bought, you'll be able to sell it for more than what you paid for 5 years from now.
I'm going to agree on all those points. I just brought up the cover price, fair market value for Fine. The last sale was on October 22nd for $250. However, the fair market value for Fine is $632.
Yep.
For Very Fine, the last sale for Very Fine was $1,500 on August the 15th. And the fair market value is also $1,500. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say that this is absolutely a props. Not only if nothing materializes, I'm basically saying what you're saying. It's still a great book to have for a key character that will eventually make his way into the MCU. But I think it's still a great Silver Age book. This is Silver Surfer's first run too, right? So it's number 3. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So Good job on that. That is absolute props, and I thought most of you agreed with that. 360 Comics was really, he really thought we'd see Mephisto in the end credit scene of Black Adam, and that was definitely a missed opportunity. You're right about that.